Hey everybody, this is Adam at Archery Country. Today we're going to talk about the different types of arrow rests that are out there on the market and that we see here in our shop. We're going to go pros and cons of all of them and kind of walk you through the different technicalities of the different rest families. Starting out with the most simplistic one, it's going to be the Whisker Biscuit style static type rest. This one here, your arrow is going to drop in, it's going to fit right in that hole, and as you shoot, it's going to have contact on that arrow shaft the entire way throughout the entire shot process. Benefits of this, it's a super simple, typically a cheaper type rest that we put on a lot of youth bows or beginning archer type bows. With this one here, you got full arrow containment. There's really no reason that arrow's gonna pop off. Now, kind of the cons of them, these here are gonna be a little more sensitive to different size arrow shafts. They're not necessarily a universal fit. Another thing is with that arrow riding through that Whisker Biscuit throughout the entire shot process, it's just gonna have more contact. So if we're twisting and torquing that riser, we're gonna see more interference on that as well. Also, we're kind of limited on vanes. Some vanes are gonna kick a little hard through this type of rest or how they're fletched. Also, if you're broadhead tuning, it's gonna be a little bit more sensitive to that type of torque that we may be putting into our bow riser. Also, if you're shooting past 40 yards, you just might not be able to get the best groups. And over time, these whiskers are gonna wear. And so you're just gonna notice how that arrow sits on there can basically change your arrow flight or bow tune. But that's the Whisker Biscuit. Again, a very simple, very affordable type of rest that we put on a lot of bows. When we get into the dropways, there's kind of two different families. We have a cable-driven dropaway, then we also have a limb-driven dropaway. This one here is the Fuse Ultra Rest. This is a very, very common rest that we put on people's bows. This one will be tied into a cable. You can prop it up prior to the shot, or if you forget to, it'll draw up on its own into a locked position. As soon as you shoot though, it's gonna go down. And so the benefits of these dropaways is you're gonna have better arrow clearance. Also, you can run different size diameters, anything from a micro to a big telephone pole size diameter arrow through these, and it's not gonna be as sensitive as what like a Whisker Biscuit would. By having less contact on that arrow, we're gonna see tighter groups and just better arrow flight overall in general. With these cable-driven drop-away rest, very simple, very functional type rest if they're installed properly. We have a lot of people that really like them just because you can prop them up prior to the shot and have arrow control. The other style of rest is going to be a limb-driven style rest. Now what happens with these is we're going to tie this cord to either the bottom limb or to the top limb. When that bow is basically at rest, when we're not pulling it back, we have no pressure on that string, your limb is going to have that rest pulled down. As soon as we draw back, that limb's gonna flex, again, top or bottom limb. It's gonna give slack in this cord and it's gonna allow that rest to prop up. Then as soon as you shoot, that limb is gonna pull that down. Now what we notice with the limb driven is typically it's gonna be with your arrow longer, so it's gonna guide it, but then it's gonna get out of the way nice and quick, so that way your fletchings can pass through untouched. Within these different families, there's different brands and varieties, different features. They're not all equal. But definitely advantages to the dropaway styles in general. These are going to be the most common dropaway type rests that we put on bows and the most common type of rest family in general compared to the static Whisker Biscuit. Again, if you have any questions, come on into our shop, shoot us a chat request. We can talk you through the different differences, maybe what rest is best for you, whether it's price point or function. We have a ton of different rest brands, families that we can put on your bow and get tuned so that way you're successful out there in the field. Make sure to like and subscribe, and thanks for tuning in.